All right, welcome back. We're doing a overview of what a megaphone pattern is, also commonly called a broadening pattern. And we're going to have a look and see what is a megaphone pattern, how to play a megaphone pattern, and I'm going to give you two examples of a megaphone pattern in a live scenario. And one turned out absolutely beautiful, and the other one didn't go as according to plan. So it's going to be interesting to see how we dissect that and learn from other people's successes, but also to learn from other people's mistakes. I've got pretty much 4 examples here, and this is by no means only 4 examples. There are others when it comes to this particular type of pattern, but it just gives you a good basis of how to identify them. And pretty much what I've got at the top here is known as a top broadening pattern, and what I've got over here would be a bottom broadening pattern, and then over here I've got a descending broadening or megaphone pattern, and then over here I've got a ascending broadening megaphone pattern. What is happening in this pattern is there's a level of indecisiveness. So what you would find is the buyers are prepared to buy at any single price. This is why they keep trying to push the price higher and higher and effectively actually exhaust themselves while the sellers are coming in and trying to bring the price even lower. And the opposite happens with a bottom broadening pattern is, again, the sellers are prepared to sell the prices at a cheaper and cheaper and cheaper price. Now, typically one is quite bullish and the other one is quite bearish. And what we find is with the top broadening pattern is this is typically bearish itself. So what would typically happen is this would come all the way coming down, going up, it's reached its high, and it comes all the way down. Now, it does so happen at times that it can actually shoot up even higher. It just all depends on momentum, but it does happen. And we end up having a failure in terms of a top broadening pattern. And the same could happen with a bottom broadening pattern. This is typically bullish. So again, this is coming in this direction and it should break up going back up. It could fail and we could end up getting a new lower low itself. Again, you need another indicator to confirm this. And the best indicator to confirm all of this, particularly when it comes to breakup, is going to be volume, because you've got to understand momentum coming in. So they could end up breaking through this little section here. Right, so how do you actually play this? So pretty much this needs to break through. It will come down. I will actually look at retesting and then carry on going down. You want to enter on the retesting side of things. It's the same on the opposite side. This could shoot up, come back down. It could actually retest there and come back, or it could actually go all the way down here, retest this trend line, and then shoot back up again. And that's where you want to actually enter. Now, if it does happen to break down, what you would do is you could actually even enter over here, and how you want to play that is based on your resistance line there, and you've also got another resistance line over there, and you could either enter over here or enter over here and follow the trend line going all the way down. That's one way to play it. And it's the exact same thing over here. Pretty much you want to wait for confirmation, this coming back out, coming back down, and then shooting back up. And again, this is where you enter. You got to wait for that confirmation, because you could easily get a fake out and then coming back down again. And that's really what you want to watch out for. And typically these type of patterns are fantastic for swing traders and also for day traders, because they'll short, then they'll enter again, they'll short, enter again, short, and enter again. And these are lovely plays for them. Now, again, descending megaphones are one of my favorite patterns, actually, because they are very, very bullish, and they typically have such a massive upswing. This is why I really love them. But ultimately, your trend line is down, and they are looking to move upwards. And this is going up on momentum. So you got a lot of momentum coming down here. The bulls seem to be taking just a nice slight little break here. The sellers are desperate, and they are trying to sell as cheap as possible. But ultimately, it does break out of here. And the best way to play this, like the other two at the top here, wait for confirmation, wait for the retest, and then get back up. And I've got a fantastic example, which I'm going to show on this one, a textbook execution on a descending megaphone. Could also so happen that it could even come in this way on a downtrend line, and then following this type of pattern up again, and then shooting back up. But again, this is pretty much day trading and swing trading paradise. And if we have a look at the ascending megaphone, again, we got a downward trend line and bouncing up and down again. And it could even smack down, going down like that. And again, best way to trade this, as usual, just wait for the retest, enter, and then just follow it down. Now, it could also potentially just break up as well. It's just typically how they do it. But again, it's all about momentum. It all depends on also the direction itself. But I have always found ascending megaphones, and ascending meaning the megaphone is facing that way. Descending megaphone is facing that way. These ascending megaphones tend to be bearish. And they do have quite a bit of a wallop going down. It's the same with your descending megaphones. They just really have such a nice high hit. I really love these type of patterns. So right, with the magic of the snap of my fingers, I'm going to quickly clean this up. Okay, so that is much better. If it does swing downwards like this, you want to take the length of this and apply it down over here. Okay, and that will give you a sense of idea where to actually take your profits. Now, you could half it, and this will be your first profit taken, and this will be your second profit taken. The same applies up here. You'll have your first and your second, but it will be the length. In this particular case, will actually be the length of this. So that length over here, and you can have it for your first profit taken, and you could look at your second target for potential profit taken, but don't take it all out because it could move even higher. But you want to start easing profits out. Okay, so that's another way in terms of how you can actually make profits. Well, take profits from all of this. Okay, another way you could also see this. Now, typically this doesn't always point downwards, but it will actually have a flat top and then going down like that. So this, again, is still a descending megaphone. And again, you could have a flat bottom and megaphone going up like that. And that is a ascending megaphone pattern. Again, typically bearish, typically bullish. And again, this is the bottom megaphone, and these are typically bullish. And then you've actually got this one here, which is your top megaphone, and those are typically bearish. Okay, all right, so let me get you two examples of this. And like I said, one is a textbook example, and the other one is a hit and miss. And as you can see, you've got downward trend happening here, and then you've got what appears to be a megaphone. So as I explained, rising megaphones or ascending megaphones typically are bearish. However, it could certainly bounce like that and certainly go back up. So let's understand and see how this gets played out. Right, and as you can see, it completely failed and it went down that way. Now, he could have been 100% correct. It could have gone up there, could have gone there, and it could have gone up. Unfortunately, I don't think he thought this through in terms of you're looking at quite a downward trend, and typically you've got a very steep megaphone happening over here, ascending, broadening pattern, and it ended up breaking its shape here quite early actually, and then completely disintegrating and going down, and actually invalidating this particular shape, proving it to be incorrect. However, it could have played out the other way. That's just the nature of these things, hence why you got to wait for confirmation. And as you can see, it came back, it retested here, and this is where I would have entered, and just followed this going all the way down here. All right, so I'm going to show another textbook classic. Okay, so this guy did his homework. It's actually really impressive. He recognized that he was looking at a descending megaphone, and pretty much how he was looking to play out, looking for the confirmation and then the retest, enter, and then shoot up. And as you can see, he's labeled it, he planned his execution extremely well. So you got breakout and accumulation was happening. He recognized this was a perfect opportunity to retest will be good entry points. He planned this. He noticed that there was a fake breakout. He didn't enter there, and that's why you got to be so careful. I mean, if this happened to break out, you entered, and then it particularly dropped back down, I mean, you would have been on a loss there. So he planned his execution extremely well. He recognized that it was a descended megaphone pattern. It's coming from an upward direction. The trend is going upwards, and everything pointed to a textbook bullish movement. And let's see how this played out. And as you can see, it played out to the T, and it just really had great upward movements. I mean, pretty much you could take the length from there to there. That's about 61 pips to about 66 pips. So it's about 5 pips. And if I had to put this up here, it's about 5 pips. It's pretty much where I would have started taking some profits out, is around about the 71 pips. And as you can see, that it just played out really, really well with this guy. He had volume on his side here. You could see the momentum was going up. Nice downward looking, healthy megaphone, just textbook. And then waited for the confirmation, played this beautifully, even marked it. That's my entry point, and shot up. All right, guys. This is Chris Trade. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Peace.